Here we go with round 1, opening up on bunt colors and a very nice hand with 1-drop, 2-drop, and a removal spell. So our opponent chose to play first, we are not mulliganing, and let's see how this works. Now it looks like he has a 1-drop as well. Maybe just, oh yeah, it's Ever Since Pilgrim, one of the better green commons, I think. It's going to be interesting how to exactly play the Mind Shrieker here, because dropping it now doesn't really do much, which means then we might profit from having Deranged Assistant in play, because it might make us be able to cast 2 spells next turn. But we could also just drop Mind Shrieker now and Voiceless Spirit later. But that means that we would have to play Deranged Assistant at some point. So I think it's better to get it out there now. Especially we also have a use for colored mana with Blazing Torch. It's not likely, but it's possible that we are going to drop Mind Shrieker and Blazing Torch next turn. He's carving out quite nicely in Moon Heron. And now we have our first tough decision, I think. Mind Shrieker could potentially trade with these creatures, but it's not really clear if it does. Voiceless Spirit, of course, dominates both of these, but any kind of trick on his side is going to be a problem. However, forcing him to have a trick or not be able to attack makes Voiceless Spirit just better than Mind Shrieker. We also have Blazing Torch, which we can drop. So let's look what we mill. It's just a plains. And in case he handles the Voiceless Spirit, we can still go for Blazing Torch and Mind Shrieker, even Claustrophobia if necessary. He's mulching into 0 cards, but he gets to show us Invisible Stalker and Cage Breakers. And there is the Butcher's Cleaver to complement the Stalker that's now in his graveyard. Now we didn't mill a creature yet, but we can try again. And we have a second plains now. That means we can't drop the Mauler, and we only have 1 blue. So dropping Mind Shrieker seems like the best plan. He has a human, but our Voiceless Spirit is dominating the board currently. So in case he kills the Voiceless Spirit, I want another creature to carry the torch. Of course, I'm not attacking with Voiceless Spirit. It's far too important to have it on defense. It's not really clear if he's an aggressive deck or trying out some kind of milled strategy. So we probably should be milling ourselves with Mind Shrieker. If we ever drop a creature into our yard, we can also go for the Makeshift Mauler. Now I'm going to Mind Shrieker myself and still be able to play Stitcher's Apprentice. That didn't work out very well. I have 2 options now. Play the Stitcher's Apprentice as a random 1/2 creature, or a mill with the Shrieker again, because it might enable me to get through for damage. I think milling again is stronger, also because I have a higher shot at getting the Mauler active. Now Spectral Rider means I have a 3/3 Mind Shrieker, but I don't want to trade with Moon Heron, so sadly I can't attack. I also want to make sure that what his game plan is before committing to any attacks, basically. Now that means he gets some lifelink potential, and I probably should just use Voiceless Spirit in conjunction with Blazing Torch here. Let's try to shoot 2, and if that resolves, he doesn't have Ranger's Guile, meaning that I can block safely. The first strike of Voiceless Spirit, of course, being very powerful right now. We drew another island so that we can Claustrophobia at some point, but won't have to. The 4/5 Makeshift Mauler is going to trade with any Butcher Cleaver creature, but we need some more creatures in play before activating Mind Shrieker, I think. It's also very possible that once we have 6 mana, we just kill him with our Mind Shrieker. If he doesn't equip another creature, it's also very nice to attack with the Mauler, because we protect our Mind Shrieker if he trades with Moon Heron. I didn't mill myself with the range assistant, which is bad because I could hit Silent Departure, but I don't have any other advantages from milling. So against his deck, I'd rather play it a little more conservatively. We don't know how many Dream Twists he has, for example. Now, Cloistered Youth is going to be okay on the offensive, but he has some humans he can equip. Let's hope he doesn't flip this, but we still have Voiceless Spirit, so it shouldn't be a big problem. And I'm just dropping more and more creatures. Of course, Gavany Township would be insane. I'm guessing that he doesn't have an instant or sorcery in hand. It would probably be a counterspell or a combat trick, and he would have used them both at some point, I think. Now a 3/3 will get through at least once, so going to use the ability. And I didn't drop my land to have Mind Shrieker active, which means that I can still attack. It might be bad, but if he blocks with Moon Heron, it's quite risky. Of course, I should have dropped the land. I just clicked OK too quickly. Now I might be punished pretty badly here, but let's see what happens. That didn't work. Yeah, this is going to be very awkward if I don't hit. Yeah, I messed that up because I didn't drop my land, but I think it's still fine. Now, of course, we still show it to him. The fact that he doesn't have a flyer also makes it quite likely that I can just kill all his creatures through attrition. The fact that he's going to have lifelink if I keep on attacking is kind of bad, but I think it's okay. Now this screams that he has something against first strike, but he's going to have to show me. Especially because I have Stitcher's Apprentice. Now, Silent Departure is very strong against Butcher's Cleaver, and I think we should use it instead of Claustrophobia here. Alternatively, we can also use it again, but I think I want to have it available later, once he equips again. And now we can attack with quite a lot of creatures because of Selfless Cathar. If we attack with Stitcher's Apprentice, he could double block, but I don't think he will. because then we can just kill another one of his humans. That's also nice, giving us the chance to trade up our Elder Cathar. I'm not sure if I should drop Armored Scarab here. I have 16 cards, 15 and then 11. Yeah, that should still be okay. So now the milling 4 cards is actually a disadvantage, but it's not a big deal. He has a Delver of Secrets in hand and some humans for the lifelink, but he's also almost dead against the Sound Departure in our graveyard. Okay, if he wants to attack, then we just trade. He's going to gain the life anyway, and our 1/4 isn't doing much. So this is his only plan, dropping Delver and equipping it again. Which means we probably just use Claustrophobia here. We could use Sound Departure first, but we can always just Sound Departure anything else he plays. Now, this would mean we attack for 7, but we could also use Stitcher's Apprentice to upgrade one of our 1/1s to a 2/2, which means that we still don't attack for lethal, which is kind of sad, but we probably have profit from getting a 2/2 into play anyway. Now he showed us Ranger's Guile, which is kind of like a mulligan at this point. It means that he's capable of countering our flashback, but that's not something that's going to win him the game. Now the Township would win me the game this turn, but I don't know if I should show it to him, and I think I shouldn't. I don't know if he has a lot of cards to beat it, but it also means he's going to play differently if he knows that I need my creatures in play. And yeah, he couldn't have much anyway. So he's a blue-green self-mill, but still trying to win by attacking in the air or with his unblockable Stalker. I don't have anything against Invisible Stalker in my sideboard. I think it's the only card I really have to be afraid of. Lost in the Mist is kind of nice against a deck with such a clunky equipment, but I think it's the only card I could really consider boarding in. The fact that he might have some kind of combat tricks, and it's a solution, or at least a temporary solution to the Cleaver, is kind of nice. Cleaver can also come down turn 6, where it's quite powerful to have Lost in the Mist up. Not so sure what to take out. Armored Scarab against his milling, maybe, and the 1/4 is not really important. It's also the least aggressive card. I think it's a good cut. Let's see how this works. He's going first. We have a 2-drop and a 3-drop. Spectre Rider if we draw the planes. That's great. Now, despite throwing away our Mineshrieker, we managed to win the game pretty easily. I'm not dropping Blazing Torch once again. I might be forced to drop it because I want to have my mana available, but I don't want to make it possible for him to play around Blazing Torch, if possible. The fact that I'm only losing 1 mana by doing that is worth it, I think. Now, we don't have the second white yet, and the question is if Deranged Assistant is a big problem. There might be a Cassie Cage Breakers coming our way, but Voice of Spirit is very important, and we need to have something against the wolf at some point, which means that we need to have one of the equipments open. Now, Cage Breakers turn 4 with a Deranged Assistant in play would be trouble. Especially because we need some more time to get Lost in the Mist active. Also, our deck just doesn't have much against it. Now, Galvanic Juggernaut is interesting because it can be made to suicide. It's also something that interacts in a slightly weird way with well, Blazing Torch and other cards. But I think with this hand, it's actually our best plan to just try to not have it untap for some amount of time. The attack with Dark Thicket Wolf is very interesting because I have Blazing Torch, but it can only mean that he has some combination of tricks, or he wants his Juggernaut to untap, but that would be a very high price to pay. Let's see what he has. Okay, this looks like... no, he has left open a blue. I was expecting him to leave open a green mana, because that would mean he has Ranger's Guile, but now we are just able to shoot the wolf. Of course the Juggernaut untaps, but I have some trouble against the wolf as well, and this gives me a way to deal with the wolf. This is the second Plains, which means we can drop Spectral Rider and Silver Inlight Dagger, but then we couldn't keep open Lost in the Mist for this turn. The problem is that the Juggernaut is going to hit us one more time, and we don't really want to bounce it. So what we really want to bounce is coming down next turn. So I think we need to use our mana this turn, drop him down to 15, and then we can either stay on the defensive or keep open Lost in the Mist, or both, depending on how things work out. There's still the potential of Spidery Grasp or something similar from him, but we can always go into chump block mode with the help of Stitcher's Apprentice. And him not playing a spell there is actually quite powerful. Well, quite good for us. And drawing Silent Departure is as well, of course. So the problem is that he could have Spidery Grasp, but with Lost in the Mist in hand, I actually want him to play it now. He's trying to untap the Juggernaut, which won't work, because I'm going to Lost in the Mist it. I just don't know what I want to bounce, because if I bounce the Juggernaut, he's going to replay it, and it's going to be untapped, which I don't really want. So I think bouncing the Deranged Assistant is in fact much stronger. Let's hope he... well, even if he has Ranger's Guile, it doesn't really matter. So countering this and bouncing Deranged Assistant, leaving up Silent Departure, and being on 6 means that I won't die to a Galvanic Juggernaut. And Silent Departure is probably going to win me the game. He doesn't have Prey Upon or something. very good. Let's silent departure the assistant so that he can't jump block or do anything else. And we have him dead in 2 attack steps either way. So we definitely want to keep up Stitcher's Apprentice. And that's it. That's game. And see you for round 2.